what, like 4 years to get here,
I
3 years, but
know we did it. That's awesome.
yeah,
I forgot it took him that long. I forgot about that. I
it's
mean,
so good to.
yeah, we were talking back in the day when I was trying to get like you and Kitty over here. I forgot about that. That's
Totally.
awesome.
I think that was like 2020 or 2021 when
Probably right before the pandemic. Yeah.
exactly right around
Dang, I
then.
forgot about that. That's so awesome. One day we're gonna do all this in person though, so it'll be cool.
I can't wait,
I mean,
man.
this is cool, you know.
I'm ready when you are.
Right on. How you
For sure.
been?
I'm good.
That's
I'm good.
good.
Life is amazing. Things are good. Lots happening. Always, always on the create. So
That's
it's a
excellent.
lit.
And it's like this is pretty early for you too. This is like noon your time, right?
Oh man, I'm a early riser for sure.
Oh, you are?
I'm in like granny land already. My productivity is like 6 a.m. I'm in the studio, like fully banging out by like 9 or 10. It's like I'm done. I'm like
Wow.
I'm going to bed and then back up the next day. I always like to work out and then just get into the studio, and I just feel like it's a good flow. I feel like productive and like I'm winning at life.
You
You
sound
ever
like you're winning. That yeah. Do you drink
get
coffee before you listen to like music at 6 a.m.? I mean, do you
yeah,
have a
I have it in my We Are Pigs cup,
oh sweet.
drinking coffee through a straw. It's noon and I'm still drinking coffee with the amazing Kitty Pig website behind us. What?
What? Yes. Yeah, you guys have a new drink coming out, right?
I know.
Non-alcoholic?
How cool is that?
It's very cool. How'd you come up with that idea?
I've been watching the NA market just boom, and bands do alcohol things
Right.
always, and
That-
coffee things, and so it's just like, oh, we got to get into the NA market and fast. So I'd actually pitched this to a couple of other bands before. I pitched it to the Corn guys and like to Crazy Town, and like everyone was umming and ahhing. And then when I hit up Morgan, and I was like, yo, dude, I've got this crazy idea. Let's I found this brewery in Canada. They called One for the Road. They're gonna partner with us. Let's brew some NA brew. She was like, fuck yeah, let's go.
oh,
So
sick. Hey, do
yeah,
they give you like a like what do you how do you choose the flavor? Do they give you like are they sending you different things, you know?
yeah, for sure. So we got a palette of beer, and then we basically created our own flavor off of profiles that we like. So
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
Saskberry Blonde, which is like a hoppy berry, crispy, barbecuey kind of beer, you
I
know?
can't wait. Yeah, I think the pre-orders are on there, right? Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pre-orders up. It's at kittypig.com, and pre-orders are booming already. So we're really excited.
Yes.
I was just with Jackson from Post Idol. He is our graphics partner. He did all the motion graphics and designed the can and the whole look and feel of the brand. Um, and we're just finishing design on the can, which we're about to go to print with. So it's exciting because
Yeah.
I did a an alcoholic beer, an IPA with Alien Ant Farm,
I didn't
uh,
know that.
just
Yeah.
just before the pandemic. We found a brewery in Riverside, and we brewed this brutal IPA. It was insane. I'm probably way off on my number now, but I think it was like 8% or
Oh
something.
God.
And
Yeah.
one of those things like puts you down, but people loved it. And then I don't know, I guess I'm just more, and I'm not a sober person.
hmm
I just
Okay.
uh, I just things life is incredibly busy, and the demand on me is so high that honestly it doesn't make sense for me to be drinking anymore.
hmm
So and I still do on occasion. I'll have a tequila here and there, but
Right.
but otherwise I'm just like, I love the taste of beer, so why not do it with less calories and no alcohol?
Yeah.
Win.
Exactly. I wonder if NA beers are easier to distribute, you know. I know like a lot of bands like Pantera put out a beer and I had a hard time getting it shipped here. But I wonder if since you guys are doing NA beers, you know, that'd be
Yeah,
easier.
so we had the same thing with the Ant Farm beer, is that because the laws are so tight between different states, there's certain states that you can't ship to. Whereas
Mm.
with an NA beer, it's just like sending Coca-Cola over. So
Right.
it's kind of cool. And we're gonna be having the Kitty Pig beer as merchandise at the show.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
talking to all the big festivals at the moment about getting the beer as like the official NA beer. So it's gonna be cool, you know. Big dreams. It's what we do as artists and musicians and creators. It's like, you know, it's your work ethic and your dreams kind of align, and that's how you make it happen.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love that. I was thinking also, you know, Lamb of God has NA beer, right? I
Oh,
don't
did
know.
he? I
Yeah.
just saw that. I just saw that. And the packaging's so cool. It's like this dark greeny, like
Yeah.
super cool. I just checked it out.
So we should
I
do like an episode of every band that does NA and you know, and I'll compare them and stuff. That'd be
That would
cool.
be awesome. Everyone would be like, oh, it tastes like shit, you know. That's awesome. I love it.
When we first connected back, you know, back in 2020, I think I heard your song Mute with Morgan. I think that's the song I heard with you guys,
Yeah.
which I totally love that song. I mean, that's probably one of my favorites. That's the go-to.
Oh,
But
thank you.
was that
Thank
an
you.
easy song to write or did you work with Morgan?
It's pretty wild. That track, it's kind of the BPM changes throughout the song. It was just I wrote it with Ben. He's Deftones guitar tech, Fall Out Boys guitar tech,
Whoa.
Taylor Swift's guitar tech. He's like he's a machine, and Ben collaborates with me on a lot of the songwriting.
Wow.
And so I'd made this beat and I said, like, give me a riff, and he started writing this riff, and I was like, that's the one. And then I had the idea. I'd actually sent, strangely enough, I'd sent the song idea first to Shirley Manson from Garbage.
Oh,
And,
yeah, that's
yeah,
cool.
and I was like, would love to collaborate with you on the song. And she was like, I absolutely love the track, but it's way too heavy for me.
Yeah.
And at that time, the Kitty rockumentary had just come out on Amazon, which if you
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen it, it's
Oh,
so good.
I encourage everybody to watch it. It's so great.
It's so inspiring. And it popped up on my and Kitty has been in my life for since I was a kid. Well, not since I was a kid. That's a lie. Probably like since my early 20s. And so where was it going with this story? Oh, Kitty coming up on Amazon, and I was like, I should reach out to Morgan. Like that makes so much sense. And the crazy thing is that when we did this collaboration, because I was like, no, I've never met the girls before. And then one of my friends who used to run Brick by Brick in San Diego, which is like a big music venue, was like,
Mm-hmm.
SJ, like I introduced you to Morgan at a show. We sat in the back office, and I'm like, oh, my 20s are a little blurry, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Morgan was like, no, I don't remember that either. So it's funny how life works. Um,
Definitely.
it's so cool. The collaborations on um this project have just been so mind blowing and so humbling. And it's so wonderful. I guess the pandemic was awful for so many and wonderful for so many.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
yeah. It
I
worked
fell
out.
on the other side of that, where it was these relationships that I've been curating and nurturing for my 20 plus years of being in the music business. Um, just everybody had so much kindness and so much joy and so much enthusiasm about collaborating. So
Yeah.
and Morgan was exactly the same. She was just like, I love it. Let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah, you know so many people. I guess that's, you know, you've been in doing this for 20 years now. I mean, you throw out these names that are huge. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, I started I started pretty much in my first band when I was 12. It was like a Christian rock group,
Nice.
and I was
What were you guys
listening.
called?
It was called Tweak.
Okay. It's funny. That's a Christian band called
No, no
Tweakers.
shame. No shame, right? So at some point,
No, it's cool.
I remember sitting in class and like remember it was like writing all those like weird way that you would write the T's and the W, and it was just so cool and inspired by
Yeah.
bands like POD and Pillar, and
Oh,
'cause
yes. I love them.
those are the bands that I grew up. I grew up very much rooted in the church, and it was New Covenant, so it was, worship was just straight up rock shows.
Yeah.
So that's where my formative
That surprises me that because I grew up too, the same stuff, that's amazing. Yeah.
I mean, it's the best. I think there's something. I got asked this question the other day, and for some reason I just went on this tangent which didn't make any sense at all. But it's so strange that I was trying to articulate like why like Christian music can tend to be so heavy and expressive. And I was just like, I have no idea why, but I guess like we all have this fire inside of us. And I don't know. Do you have any insight on that?
No, I don't. But you're right though, because back in the day, they had like Tooth and Nail. Like remember like
Yeah,
Living
totally.
Sacrifice and
Yeah.
all these really heavy bands.
Mortification. Do you remember
Mortification.
that? Oh, that
Yeah.
was heavy. What?
I don't know why I was so angry, but I liked it because the other side of Christian music was really corny. So,
Oh, totally, totally.
yeah,
But I owe a lot to um the structure of how worship music is written is, very much pop music. So I learned how to write songs based off of my experience and my time um in the church, which I'm very grateful for. And I've moved past that, and um I have a whole different view on life now. But I'm grateful for the foundation of how to write a song, like how
yeah,
melody should be. The bands that I love. I mean, I'm still friends with the POD guys now. We have a song coming out next year after their record. We've been teasing it for a while, and every single time we want to drop it, the label's like, no, you can't drop it now because we have to promote something else or whatever. So the song has been literally sitting around for 3 years waiting. It's just like
oh my
baking at
gosh,
this point.
yeah. Is that with the whole band? So it's POD featuring you?
It's Sunny. It's with Sunny and Marcos. So it's a
Oh,
song called Protector, and it's with Sunny and Marcos.
I can't wait to hear that.
Strangely enough, I was friends with Wav before knowing Sunny or Marcos, because I when I first moved to the States, I moved to San Diego, and for somehow I got like brought into this cool like POD circle, and got to hang out with all the tribal guys and Wav. So it was awesome. It was a good time back then.
Yeah, you sound like you need to write an epic like book. You're like, I mean, you feel like you're packed full of stories. I mean, people would love that. Or do an Audible
I,
thing.
I feel that, man. I was speaking to a friend the other day about writing a book. I always feel like it's so weird because like there's a line that I always feel, I'm like, do people want to see you putting your makeup on? I'm like, these are the questions
Right.
that I ask myself. I'm like, do people want to see you in your underwear getting ready? It's like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like
Yeah,
a different generation now. I'm like
true,
10 years
true.
older than all the kids that are like, oh, get ready, me. And I just find everything so like self-consumed that I'm torn where I'm like, is it just so narcissistic to like write a book about like your job? But at the
Yeah,
same
that's a good point. Yeah.
at the same time, there's a lot to learn. I've definitely learned a lot, which I think would be great to impart to people. Maybe some people don't have to go through all the
Yeah.
you know the tough parts.
True. And you could even do like chapters with each band that you worked with,
Yeah,
like
right.
I
That
worked
would
with
be,
POD. Here's a section about that or something.
that's such a
Or
great
a
idea.
podcast or something.
Well,
I would love to hear that. So I'm just like a fan.
I'd have to, I don't know why I've never bought a SM7B because they sound so great. And I'm like,
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I need to get that microphone because your voice just sounds so rich and deep and amazing.
Hey, thank you. I need to get the camera though. Everybody's got this fancy camera. Like my camera's kind of, rinky, whatever,
It
but
looks good though because it keeps like shifting the whole
it
time.
does. Yeah. I've had
Oh,
people say like, "Are you moving that yourself?" I'm like, "No."
it's rad. I
Hey,
like it.
thank you.
Is it an
Yeah.
iPhone? Is that an iPhone doing that?
No, no, I have a camera, just a camera set up to the laptop,
Oh, that's
like an
crazy.
extra little camera,
That's
little Amazon
crazy.
camera.
I love that. I love that.
Thank you. Are you in the studio right now? Is this your studio?
I am. This is my little homeroom. This is just my little office at home where I do editing and just if I need to throw an idea down or anything. I have a studio out in LA that I work out of, but this is my little home, my lady cave as such.
So you actually live there. So this right? So that would
Yeah,
be,
yeah, yeah.
how do you not like, you've got to be a workaholic, right? Because you got the setup and you live there. I mean, I feel like I would be there all the time.
Dude, it's so crazy because I'm I'm at the moment like trying to get a business loan for Kitty Pig because I'm like I
Mm.
want this thing to blow. Like I don't want it to just be a little thing. I want this to be like in every store, in like how the Deftones beer is. It's so rad, and
Yes.
I
Oh
just
my
think
gosh.
there's so much potential. But and it's these wild entrepreneur dreams that blow up and how people have these success stories. And so it's like so hard to quantify to like financial institutions. I'm like, I'm literally working like 16 hours every single day. Like this is an average day, 6 days a
Six.
week.
Wow. Yeah.
It's, you wake up and you go. It's like I'm in the studio, like, and probably 14 more realistically, but most days I'm in the studio from 7 a.m. and I get out around 9:30.
And you're doing like different sessions with different bands, right? I mean, you helping produce or mix.
Totally. I do a lot of production for other bands. Most of the time, labels and bands bring me in to write songs with them from scratch. So
Oh,
it
wow. That's
it'll
so cool.
it'll be we'll have met for and the songs get better the more you know each other. I feel like songwriting, the magic, it's kind of like dating. The first one's always a little awkward and you're getting to know each other and the conversation's weird and um but so I prefer to be able to spend long periods of time with bands
Mhm.
and and really get to know them and work with them who they are as authentic artists and who their DNA is as an artist. But how the music industry is working these days in general is I'm pretty much doing 2 or 3 different sessions a day with
Mm.
different artists. So like pumping out 3 songs a day can be pretty exhausting.
It sounds so exhausting. I was going to ask you that.
And
Do you,
a lot of the time I'm on Zoom, just because I don't have the physical bandwidth to be able to be in all the different places. So it'll be like a label will set me up with like their new artist, and I'm with them from 8 a.m. till noon, and then from like 1 until 4 I'm with another artist, or 1 until 5, and then from 6 until 10 I'm with another artist. So it's just like throwing ideas out, and then I'll be producing just in the box, getting
Mhm.
the idea down, and using Audio Movers, which is an amazing software plugin which allows the artist to hear in real time what I'm doing in the studio. So
You sound really tech savvy. Have you always been that way? Just great with uh, what you do? I don't know what you call it, being on a computer, mixing.
yeah, I know, seriously. I feel like it was a necessary evil. Like you just had to, in order to evolve and continue being successful as a songwriter, producer, engineer, artist, it was just like it was learn or die. So basically, as new stuff comes out, it's always geeking out is a part of the fun in the music industry. um I'm not in any way a professional engineer where I'm like, oh yes, we should run like this compressor through this EQ, and I do the majority of my work in the box.
Mhm.
um so it's a little bit different, but definitely you still have to have the chops.
Yes, you sound like kind of like a nerd almost, but like not in an offensive way, you know, like you can almost nerd out on this stuff,
Dude,
right?
I might be one of the biggest nerds, Everyone's always like, "Oh, SJ's so cool," and then I'm like, "Oh no, if only you knew!" Like
No,
I'm
being a
the
nerd's cool though. It's not bad.
talkiest person that you will ever know.
Do you have trouble sleeping at night, turning off like, the switch with with everything's going on?
100%, 100%. It's I think being an entrepreneur is like it's a whole different set of push and drive and tenacity, and the whole time your brain is going, because not only am I doing all of these artist sessions, so that is one job. I have We Are Pig stuff, which is only me. That is one job, which is a full-time job in itself too, just getting all of that content out and keep making it work as a business. And then Kitty Pig and other ventures that I have going on, I just haven't got to the place in my life where I have other people yet helping me. And
Oh, yes.
I think
Wow.
that's probably a part of my stubbornness and control freakness. I'm just
Right.
like, nobody will is in my brain, so nobody can do it like me. And that's definitely, as I evolve, I'm definitely at a point where it's like I need help,
You need help. Yeah, that's a lot.
because it will definitely grow more. So
It sounds
I'm
like you have like a
excited
big
about.
oh, I'm sorry, keep going.
No,
I
no, no, go
interrupted
ahead.
you. No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just thinking like this big whiteboard. Like, how do you like organize everything? Do you have a calendar? Do you have use your phone? Like,
I'm big into calendars. My calendar is pretty well organized, but I am not a person that makes lists. And
interesting.
I think that is sometimes because I look at how other people that are successful handle things and they have lists. And in for some reason, I work really well under pressure. So
Mm.
I find my performance uh increases exponentially when there's like a fire lit under my butt. It's like, oh shit, I already have like 2 days to finish this. Then all of a sudden, that's how somehow how my personality works. But I really do need to get better. I'm very organized human, but I could be more organized for sure.
Right. Do you ever take vacation days? Or like, do you ever just say, I'm going to the beach for a week and just
Funnily
turn
enough,
your brain off?
I'm actually uh for the first time, and hence I'm in like a massive just hustle to get as much as I can get done in this next month. I'm going to Japan in November, which I'm really, really excited about. And it's
Yeah.
going to be a no work experience, which just I'm obsessed with food. That's my thing. So noodles, uh, probably my favorite thing in life. I could eat ramen noodles all day long.
Yeah, I grew up on that.
So I have no problem on the road where it's just noodles. You're like, oh, it's amazing. Sushi. So I'm just going
Yeah.
for a food experience, which is going to be amazing.
That is amazing. And I was just talking about like you need to take a break, but now I'm thinking you should document it, but that would be working too,
Totally.
documenting your experience.
Totally. Well, my mind's already like, oh, I've got to reach out to like baby metal and got to take label meetings. And I'm like, nope, tranquilo. Like we need to take this down.
I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, funny enough, about ramen noodles, and they were telling me what they add to the ramen. And I was like, wait, you add things to it? And they're like, oh yeah, like hot sauce, or just tell me different things. I had no idea. I just did the little packs. Do you add things to your noodles, to the ramen? Do you fancy it up?
I do. I love mayonnaise. And I know that's
Whoa.
that's a really weird thing,
Yeah.
but I love to add like a tablespoon of mayonnaise to my ramen. It just becomes all creamy and delicious. And I actually like veganese more than mayonnaise. And I'm not a vegan or vegetarian. I think it tastes way better than mayonnaise. If you
Yes.
have to try veganese, try veganese. It's so good. And most people are like, ew, gross, what are you doing? But
That's awesome.
mayonnaise obsessed over here. I will
Yeah.
put mayonnaise on everything and tomato sauce. You guys call it ketchup. I will put ketchup on everything too. I know it's so bizarre, but are
Yeah.
you ketchup on eggs? Yes or no?
No. Are you? You are, because yeah, you've had, yeah.
I'm just like, get on my eggs.
Do you add mayonnaise to your eggs?
I don't actually, but that could be delicious.
Yeah.
Sriracha. What do you feel about sriracha?
Oh, it's good. Yeah, it's hot. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
can do it.
actually have. I love it so much. I had it tattooed on my arm.
That's amazing. Yes, I love it. That's awesome. That is commitment. You should get a mayonnaise tattoo also,
All right, vegan. Sorry.
When you play, like, I was thinking we were talking about food. When you play live, do you eat before a show, or do you just save it for after the show? I mean, that could be the silliest question I've ever asked. Are you?
It is. It's a really, really good question, actually. I think I was having this discussion with this incredible artist, Miss Velvet, that I work with, and she was like, "Oh my God, like I have to be like full stomach before I go on stage," and I was like, "Huh, I haven't actually ever thought about it. Like, I definitely don't like to, in general, I'm not a person that likes to feel hungry. No human would, but I'm like a picker all day long. So
Mm,
I don't really eat 3 meals a day. I'll have like a shake for breakfast, and then I'll have a snack, and then I'll have a salad, and then I'll have another snack, and then I'll like have some random tuna, and then I'll have a snack. I'm more of
yeah.
like a snacky eater. So I think I'm snacking for sure before a show, because there's nothing worse than like getting that lightheaded, don't have energy when you're giving your all.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought. I had somebody tell me that once, that they like to go on stage hungry, but that makes a point that you don't want to be like
You
hangry,
like
like mad.
carbo loading before the night before you have a show, eating pasta, getting ready for my big show.
When you play a show, are you thinking about that? I don't know if you're on tour or whatever, but do you think about that every day, about the show leading up to that night? I mean, do you get nervous, or do you just another day? You know?
With We Are Pigs, we've actually only done one show together. Um, and I think when you have a team, which is imperative to running a show that has so many parts to it, when you have a team that you trust, I think that you're not even thinking about the show. It just becomes
Mm-hmm.
it's like going to the gym. It just becomes a part of your life. But would you be stressing if you didn't have the front of house engineer and your tech who's got everything dialed in? Absolutely. We did a show with Gray Days a while back, and it was an awesome show, but we did it without a tech and without a front of house guy, and we'll not be doing that again.
Okay. Yeah.
It was definitely just like, oh yeah, this is it's a business, and it needs to be dialed in, and it also just takes pressure off of you as the artist, knowing my job is to go out and entertain and make sure that I'm hitting these notes and these songs, and not worrying about like what is it sounding like out front.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. That's gotta be a lot of worrying. I would worry so much about that, I think. You know
totally.
what? I was thinking, like, if you guys went on tour with We Are Pigs, I've been really getting into like Poppy. I don't know if you're a Poppy fan or
He's awesome.
Ghost Man. I love this, like, I love these new younger groups coming out with this style, this heavy kind of, I don't know how you describe it. But
Totally.
do you like that kind of style?
I do. I love it. I think Ghostman's awesome. It just goes so hard. The And it's crazy because you can't really emulate that stuff with live musicians. So the reason why those shows sound so fat and hard is because you've got like through the club speakers, you've got, you know, these 808s and these
Yeah.
strap hats and these freaking kick drums that are just like punching a hole through you. And so it's a whole different experience to like a live band. Although when you go watch Korn, that's probably one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. Holy
Yeah,
crap. Those
absolutely.
guys are insane, but they've got their sound so dialed in. And so
Oh yes.
I
Yeah.
guess for the Ghostmanes and Poppy plays with the live band. Does Ghostmane play with the live band too?
He does, but I'm sure he's heavy on the tracks. I mean, I guess like if their monitors went down like falling in reverse, they probably wouldn't be able to perform. I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Totally. I mean, it's the same with We Are Pigs. We're running just because the project was created pretty much solely by me and a collaborator. Everything else is programmed. You know, it's like
Mhm.
I programmed the drums, programmed the 808s. So trying to keep the sound true to what it is live. We're heavy on tracks, and so
Oh
everybody
no, yeah, that's
has
cool.
click in your ears, and so the panic of like, just what happens if your computer goes down? And I have this insane playback rig built by the same guy, TJ at Neat Audio. He built like Post Malone's playback rig, and a whole bunch of other really cool, like Master the 21 Pilots playback rig, and it's redundant, so it's running off of two computers. So if one goes down, it switches in real time
Oh,
to
that's like a generator or something. That's
it,
so
it
cool.
it's insane. I haven't bought the second laptop to have it running backup yet, so I'm constantly just like in panic mode. So the next step would be get that second computer, just so that you don't have to panic about. I mean, you just never know. And you have to treat the computer like it's a member of the band. It's like it's so important. Like you have to care for it. You got to know that its health is good
Yes.
because if this thing goes down, it's like you're pretty much screwed.
Oh God, man, that's that would cause another level of anxiety for me. Just thinking about that.
Seriously,
I love
seriously.
that song you did with Brian Welch from Korn. That what's it called
Kid,
Kids. Yeah,
it's
that was a cool video too.
such a cool song. Mm-hmm.
And just hearing him sing, because I remember like when he left Korn, he sang a little bit, with Love and Death,
Yeah.
and was that your idea to get him to sing, or
Totally. I'm a big fan of Love and Death.
yeah?
They're one of my favorite bands of all time, and I work a lot with JR too. So it was a really special collab, and I'd sent a couple of songs to Brian during the pandemic and said like, how do you feel about this one? How do you feel about this one? And JR had added guitar parts on a bunch of stuff. And then Brian finally came back and he was like, okay, I'm gonna do the kid song. And I was just like, yes, so amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he cut vocals to that, and JR wrote the guitar parts, and it was just such a the song is so unique and just its own thing. It's so strange, these projects, I think because my output is so high of
Hmm.
what I'm putting out. It's like I don't get the chance really to be like super emotionally attached to things.
Yeah.
So it's just like, this is amazing. I got to do this song for We Are Pigs, but at the same time, I was working on like 11 other songs. So it's
Oh
like
yes, you
it
can't
kind
fully
of sucks.
celebrate.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because like nothing feels incredibly special, and it should be because it's like,
Yes.
holy crap, you've got to do a song with Brian Head Wells from Korn, and holy crap,
Yeah.
you've got to
Yeah,
do
and
a song with.
you can't
Go
psych
ahead.
yourself out either, too. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like, because you don't want to get in your
totally,
head, right?
totally. It's I'm really proud of that song, and the music video is so cool because we wrote that song around the Euphoria series that came out on
Mm-hmm.
HBO. I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't see that.
It's it was just, I don't know, maybe I grew up in like in South Africa in like a white picket fence. I just never experienced things that I think kids have access and are experiencing today. with cell phones and access to social media and access to everything else. So it was just so horrifying to me. I was just watching this and like what 10-year-olds are going through and 12-year-olds. And I'm just like, whatever happened to being a kid?
Mm, mm,
There is no innocence anymore.
hmm.
And the initial writing of that song is that I was like, Brian, the kids are not all right.
The
Like, they're
kids are
not,
not all right. Yeah,
like
you're right.
they're
So
not gonna be okay. And he was like, I disagree with you. He's like, I think the kids are okay. He's like, I see so much positivity, even though there's just so much that we can't control and that they're being thrown at. And I think they're resilient and they're amazing. And it's such a great generation. And I was like, okay. I don't think the kids are gonna be okay. But
hey,
I
that,
but,
yeah.
but I love that he's such a positive human being. And just him saying, I don't want to put into the universe that the kids aren't all right. He's like, I want to put into the universe over all of these kids' lives that they are all right and that things are going to be okay.
I love
So
that.
so the music video was really, it was dark and it was based on like just the amount of access the kids have to like pills and drugs and alcohol and all sorts of stuff. And when Brian first saw the video, he was like, oh my gosh, this video absolutely terrifies me. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, that is the craziest, darkest, like it terrifies me. And I was like, do you not want to release it? He's like, no, it's totally fine. But he's like, whoa, that's dark, dude. I was like,
Did
okay.
did you make the video yourself or did you hire somebody to do it?
No, I have this amazing guy. His name is Dave the Creator, and he's in Italy. And I found him on Fiverr. So I was looking at when I first did the first original song that I dropped with We Are Pigs was called Pulse Queen. And originally I wanted this project to be like a Slipknot thing where it was no, you didn't see faces. So it was more
Yes.
animated characters.
Hmm.
I was just going to do the whole thing as animated characters. And then for some reason, as it evolved, it I couldn't keep up with content, and keeping like the animated characters was just, it was too expensive to do the whole time. So I was like, okay, we have to put faces to names and
Yeah.
just kind of let it go. Um
I like Brian Welch on there. His graphics was cool, you know.
yeah, he looks awesome and JR looks awesome. And I love the piggy lady animated character. It's such a cool vibe.
It's definitely a cool vibe. I also I want to go through a couple of songs. You know, I know you worked with Billy Corgan, Patrick Patrick William. I like how you put his full name under the credits, you know.
Yeah, he likes to go by William Patrick Corgan. I think even though his handle is still Billy Corgan on Instagram, uh I think a lot of his other stuff he likes to use his full name.
Mm, that's
So
must be amazing though, having him in the room. I mean, do you guys work in the same
I didn't
studio?
work with him in the studio. We did everything just over Zoom, over emails. I've met Billy before in Chicago at one of his wrestling federation matches, because
Yeah,
he's got
I,
a wrestling team.
I forgot he
And
did that.
his Bjorn Thorsred, who has now passed away, but he was our mutual friend, and Bjorn had produced my South African band's records. So
Hmm.
I'd flown Bjorn from Chicago to South Africa to produce my band in South Africa's records. Um, and so that is how the Billy connection happened. And I flew out to Chicago, I think in like 2009ish, but then in about 2012 or 13, I flew out to Chicago. Was working on some stuff with Bjorn, and he said, "Hey, Billy's doing a launch of his wrestling federation tonight. We should go." And it was so cool. It was crazy. It really is. It was just so hypey, and we were in this cool, like old building in downtown Chicago, and the architecture in Chicago is so cool. It's like this gothic. I don't know if you've been to Chicago.
Yes,
But
but I haven't been there though. That's
yeah,
cool.
it's super, super cool. And so we were just in this building, and the stage as such was at on the bottom floor, and then it was like there was like balconies, and everybody was like looking down on the balconies to
Hmm.
watch the wrestlers, and the wrestlers would climb up. And so we were sitting in like this box area with Billy and his brother. And the first time I met Billy, it was random story, but I shook his hand, and I remember and being like, so awesome to meet you. And I was like, this guy has the biggest hands I have ever felt in my entire life. It was crazy. I was like, that's why he's such an amazing guitar player. Just like, and I'm a big human. You know,
Yeah,
I'm 6'1", and I'm a big person. And I was just like, wow, this guy is just he's just Amazonian and wonderful. And yeah, and he's been so kind to collaborate on this song. We started it during the pandemic, and then when our mutual friend Bjorn Thorsrud, and Bjorn had produced several of the Smashing Pumpkins records, and when he passed away, I reached out to Billy and I said, let's finish this song, man, for
hmm.
Bjorn. And Billy has so much going on. He was doing a new Smashing Pumpkins record. He did that whole uh like 3 album, musical thing, and he's doing his own stuff. And then he's got Madame Zuzu's, which is his restaurant. And he kindly finished the record, and we were hoping to get his vocals on the
Yeah,
track
that'd be
too,
cool.
and it just never materialized. He was just like, listen, this is where I'm at. So
Hmm.
take it or leave it. You can put my name on it. And I was like, great, let's go. So,
His schedule sounds a lot like your schedule. You guys sound very similar.
totally. I feel like as uh, a musician, artist, and maybe a lot of people that are true artists don't have an like the entrepreneurial brain. But I just feel like for me, I'm always looking for what can I do or invent or create that's going to sustain being able to create art for the rest of my life. So there's
Yeah,
always this continual um never sleeping thing going on. but
yeah.
but it's not often that I don't sleep well. Do you sleep well?
So the older I get, I don't. So a lot of times I'll take melatonin and stuff like that
Yeah,
and flirt around with that a little bit. But yeah,
yeah.
that's yeah. The older I get, it gets a little rough.
I don't really like how melatonin makes me feel. I feel a little groggy. I try not to rely on any kind of medication. I'm not a
Hmm.
big like pill person, have never ever been into weed. So it's like, a lot of people are like, just have a pot gummy to sleep. And I'm like, would rather not. I
Good
just
for you.
I just
They
I
they
just don't,
make
I just don't
melatonin.
like it.
Yeah, they make melatonin free as well. But I mean, like you said, you probably wouldn't like that either. But
What is that?
it's just a lot of people. I've heard that melatonin's not great for you. I
Oh,
don't know all the details, but I guess it can make your brain mushy over time. So they
yeah.
have like
That's
alternatives
that
for that.
yeah, that sounds about right. But I think a lot of the time, I'm definitely also a person that loves schedule, like regiment. So it's like I like to wake up at the same time every day. I like to work hard at the same time every day. I like to have my shake at the same time every
Yeah,
day.
you
Obviously,
like.
when you're on the road, that just goes out of the window. But when I'm at home, and a lot of the time I'm traveling during the week, but I think being able to have a sense of some kind of stability,
Mhm.
it's like people say, making your bed in the morning like increases your productivity by 206%. Something as silly as that, but it really is. It makes me feel like, okay, great, I've achieved that today. I achieved my workout today. It's like you've got these humps making you a successful person and giving you your own goals in your life.
You're inspiring me. Like this is amazing. I
Aw.
didn't know it'd go this way. Like you're like star of the Christian bands and music and you're in a regiment. You don't do weed. You got a non-alcoholic drink coming out. I'm like, I gotta start like working on my life. I gotta look in the mirror.
It's just it really is so important. Like there's just so many things, like as humans, like how can we be better humans, help ourselves first, so that we can help others. And I think that's like the whole point in life is like you can have $1 billion and just be there's the saying that says that goes, some people are so poor all they have is money.
Oh, wow, that's good. Some people are
And
so poor, all they have is money.
I'm just like, man, like that's it. Is because there's so much more to creating a fulfilled, happy life.
Mm.
There's a show on Netflix. I don't know if you watched it. It's like called The Blue Zone or something.
Mm-mm.
And it's talking about people in which countries in the world live to 100. So they're called like blue zones. And and there's a couple of common threads, and one of the things is happiness. You know, if
Mm.
people have family around them and they're surrounded by joy, you're getting enough rest. People that have exercise, people having one glass of wine a day, like there was all these things that
Mm-hmm.
were your sake or whatever. And it's super inspiring to watch. Japan was there was I can't remember the region, and then there's like some random place in America, and then like Italy, and a lot of the common threads of people living longer is having family around them and that support system and having a purpose in life. And I think it's
Yes,
so important. When you don't have a purpose, you're like, what's the point? You know,
absolutely. Yeah.
there really is no point. So I think it's so important to find that purpose, whether it be helping people or creating or pickleballing or
Right.
whatever your purpose may be, as silly and small as it may seem. That purpose is what's going to get you up and drive every day, and then that's going to find your community, which is so important, whether it be a church, whether it be a sports group, whether it be your AA group. You know, it's like it's all the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just community.
Yeah. So your purpose, you're spending all this time doing what you love, but it's your passion, which is amazing because a lot of people get stuck in that grind, of every day in a cubicle, just trying to catch up on bills and everything.
Yeah,
And it's really sad. But fortunately, you get to do what you love. So that's really cool.
it is. It's every single day I am just filled with gratitude. I'm just like, how do I get to be this lucky that my job is to make other people's dreams come true?
Mm-hmm.
Like their sonic dreams. It's like my job when artists come to me, they go, I want to write a song like this that sounds like this. And they 100% trust me to give them their sonic dream. And sure, the weight of that is like it's awful, and it's
No
heavy
pressure.
and it's stressful.
Yeah.
But it's what a wonderful purpose is to make people happy. Like when I see the end result and I send that final mix to the artist and they call me and they're crying and they're like, this is just the greatest thing I've heard. And I was like, I got you.
Yeah.
So it really is. I don't know how I got lucky, but I must have done something right in this life or a past life or
Mm-hmm.
thing.
I think you should I could totally see you doing a TED talk on YouTube. Have you ever seen those? Where they
I
talking from an audience?
I
Yeah.
have. They're so good. I'm actually really not good. This is one of the my favorite interviews I've ever done. Actually, I just feel
Wow.
very relaxed with you. And
Thank you
you,
so much. That means a
yeah,
lot.
I'm not good like this. Like I'm not a good spur of the moment talker. And I was saying to myself, like while I was doing my makeup, I was like, just go slow, like think about things, like be chill, because usually I'm just like I'm so nervous about what my answer is going to be because I'm like, this
Mhm.
is recorded for all time. What are you saying? I'm just trying to uh just slow down a little bit
Mhm.
more in my brain, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get the same way. I have to ask you. I've had Shifty at my house before. We did an interview in person, and he was a
And
totally trip. And you got to do a song with them. I love that song you guys did, "Faded."
isn't it so cool? That
Yeah.
that's that song is so special because it's very different from the rest of the We Are Pigs stuff. But I think it's one of the best. It's just such a big radio song.
Hmm.
Uh, and I really wish that we could have pushed it a little bit more. It released at a really, really weird time where we literally released the song, and I think the next day that that assault went down with Shifty
Oh, it was right then. Okay. Yeah.
and I was like, seriously, dude,
Yeah.
like song about your sobriety, and here you are, just like, well, and whatever, or maybe bad publicity is good publicity.
Hmm.
Um, I definitely still would like to see that song get a little bit more love. Seth and I are super tight.
Yeah,
He
that's good.
he's awesome. I really love spending time with him. He has great stories. His energy is always positive.
Hmm.
Uh, in fact, we are talking about doing a non-alcoholic beer too again, called Crazy Pig, which is gonna be,
Yes, please
we
do
might
that.
we might make it like a sparkling water. I think like there's a big difference between the sober community and like people that just don't want to drink all the time.
Hmm.
And so for me, the NA beer purpose is not for sobriety. It's for a health, just a healthier option.
Good alternative. Yeah, I see.
Exactly. Exactly. So, but I think for people that have challenges with drugs and alcohol, I think that might be a slippery slope. So we might
Hmm.
do a sparkling water, which would be really cool too.
Yes. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. That's so
Why
awesome.
not do all the things? In my mind, it's just merchandise.
Right.
Like why is there not a Crazy Pig sparkling water? And then every venue you play at, it's like stipulated that they have to stock your water. It's like, boom. It's like, there we go. You just made yourself like, 50 grand this year just in water. So
Yes.
that's where my mind's going. I'm trying to work smarter, not harder, because as we get older, things get harder to keep up with it. It's like you just don't have the same energy levels. And man, if I knew what I knew now 20 years ago,
Yeah.
man, Esjay would have been unstoppable force. But
No, but
but
it's a cold journey
I was
though,
a mess back then, man. I was
Yeah.
a mess.
Oh, that's good. It's like I have all these questions for you, but I want to wrap this up soon. But the song "Movies," the cover song you did, Alien Ant Farm. Okay,
So
I
cool.
never paid attention to the lyrics until your version, and I was like, "This is a really
Right.
sad song," and I never thought that, before. I was like, "It's not sad. I mean, good breakup song, right?"
Because the music of the original is just so
It's so
upbeat.
upbeat.
Like,
You're like, "Yeah, yeah." Now listen to yours, I was like, "Wow,
yeah, I mean it's a super super sad breakup song, and Dryden is such an incredible lyricist and vocalist. And Terry and I decided, I just went to Terry, who's the guitar player from Alien Ant Farm, and he has collaborated with We Are Pigs for many songs now. In fact, we just released a song called Wedding Vows.
oh yes, yes, that's
And
great."
so when we did the movies song, I was like, I have this idea. Is this a little bit too close to home? Will you write a guitar part for it that is completely different? We're gonna just spin movies on its head, so it's a completely different reinterpretation and reimagination of the song. He's like, let's do it. So I think a lot of the We Are Pig stuff also, just because I'm outputting so much other stuff, and it's crazy that in order for me to fill the cup up, I have to output more. But being able to do the We Are Pig stuff it's really just a very self-serving project where I get
Hmm.
just to do something that I want to do, and it's not really for anybody else but for my creative fulfillment,
I
which
love
is a
that.
cool place to be at.
It's a great place, and it sounds so good. I always look forward to hearing your songs, so it's really good.
Oh, thanks, Scott.
Do you ever, I would love to see you work with Chino. Have you ever worked with him, or could you? I saw a picture of you with him, right?
Dude, I have literally like text strings. I'm like,
Yeah.
we do a song. Can we do a song?
Right, right, right.
Sending links. What about this song? it's never materialized. I do know that it's going to happen at some point in life, in the next couple of years. I think it just hasn't timed out right, and timing is always everything.
Hmm.
You whenever you push things, it just doesn't feel good, especially with creatives. So you want to just wait until it's just like an absolute definite yes.
Yeah,
um
that makes sense.
my dream would be, so the wedding vows song that Terry and I just released, it's just a demo that basically we just mixed and put out. So it's a one take vocal. You can hear you can hear the click bleeding into it. Oh, in fact, I think that I sang the vocal with the monitors on, so it's like you can hear the feedback. The guitars on in tune 100%. It was a demo. And I was like, there are no rules in the music industry anymore. There really aren't. Like, labels don't know what to do, A&Rs don't know what to do. TikTok is just like a freaking nightmare. And so I was like, there's no rules. I'm just going to release a demo and see how it goes. But long story longer, my dream for that song is actually to take it to Chino and Sean from Crosses, and do
Yes.
like a and make it a Frost's We Are Pigs thing, because it's dark and sexy and heavy, but I think it could still be a little bit more in that electro land. But I don't know, maybe I'll send it off to the Deftones are writing a new record at the moment, so you never know. Like, timing is everything. I really do believe that. So I'm just waiting
Yeah.
for a sign from the universe to shoot this idea off, and I don't know, maybe it'll be on the next Deftones record.
Oh wow.
Could you
Uh,
imagine?
yeah,
Woo!
imagine just telling like Deftones, can you guys just stop working on the new album for just we'll get the song done and then
Oh my
carry
god!
on.
Oh my god!
The
I,
new Crosses album came out today, by the way. Have you heard it?
I was just checking it out this morning. I'm such a big fan of Crosses. I just
Me too.
love the vibe. It's so great to listen to. I don't listen to music often when I'm driving in the car, which I think most people are like, whoa, that's so weird. But I think because my life is saturated with music the whole time, it's kind of like a silent bubble that I can sit with my own thoughts and organize everything in my brain when I'm driving. But I love to listen to Crosses when I'm driving. It just brings my level down.
Yeah.
When I'm listening to heavy stuff or metal in the car, I've had so many speeding tickets. Just because it's like, as I get more amped, my foot goes down, and I'm just like, yeah. So, so I have forbidden myself from listening to heavy music in the car, because I'm just gonna, my insurance is gonna just go through the roof
Right.
at some point.
When I listen to heavy music in the car, I always I was telling Corey Taylor I'm name dropping on you, but I told Corey
Yeah,
Taylor like I pretend I'm in the band. Like if
I
the
love
singer's
that.
doing something, I'm doing it, And then I'll
Heck
switch
yeah.
to the drums, just like that. Like the drums come in, I'm like I'm the drummer now.
Yeah, right. You just air drumming, no
Oh, I
hand
do.
steering
Oh yeah,
wheel.
yeah. Until you get caught doing it, like somebody stares at you, like, wait,
Crazy story is I don't actually know if this is public knowledge or not, but I'm doing I there's an incredible composer called Bear McCreary, and
wait.
he wrote the score for The Lord of the Rings, for Call of Duty, for just like every massive film that you know. And he is doing a metal record, which is incredible. And he wrote this masterpiece. And on the record, I'm the only female vocalist featured on the record, and it literally goes like, this song featuring Serge Tankin, this song featuring Corey Taylor, this song
Oh
featuring
my
Esjay
gosh,
Jones. I'm like, what's my name?
that's amazing. Like you wouldn't like just frame that like a
It's
picture of
like
that.
full crazy, like orchestral speed metal. It's insane.
So a lot of people are gonna hear it. Then you're gonna get a lot of exposure. That's amazing.
Holy, it's only coming out next year, I believe, like mid next year, but and it's going to come out with a comic novel.
Whoa, really cool.
Yeah, so it's this incredible concept, and I'm really excited about it. It's so wild to be listening through to this. And as a kid growing up in South Africa, like, how did I get here? It's just, and
Yeah.
again, coming back to the gratitude, and yes, was it a lot of uh brazen tenacity and hustle? Absolutely. But I'm just like, why me? How did I get this lucky? How am I like within 1%, like the 1% range from all these, the greatest musicians in the world?
Yes. In South Africa, did you have friends that listened to all this kind of music? I mean, were you kind of an outcast? I mean, what was the scene like?
I think growing up, I wasn't allowed to listen to any of that stuff, because it was the devil's music.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But
got you.
but I think once I left the church around, like, when I was 20 ish, I really started getting into like Slipknot and Deftones and uh System of a Down and all these amazing bands, which I wish that I'd known earlier. And then we had this nightclub in Durban. I'm from a little town called Durban in KwaZulu-Natal, and there was this alternative nightclub called Burn, and it was just the coolest thing. Like, you would go, and everything was painted black, and it had like strobe lights going off the whole time. It was just so grungy and dirty, and like the cheapest beer. And oh man, it was just those are my memories of, like, some of my greatest memories of heavy music, and getting into heavy music is from this nightclub called Burn in Durban. I'm just like, man. And every time, like, Rage would come on, it would just be like the dance floor would go crazy, and it was just like all the alternative kids. So that was really my first experience of alternative music, heavier stuff, other than POD and Pillar and Mortification.
Yeah, I love that because I have a very similar story. I grew up and there was a club that I went to that played very similar story. So
So great.
yeah, that's great. Well, I've really enjoyed this conversation. This is nice. I loved it. You're fun to
Really,
talk to.
I can't wait to hang. We're gonna have to do, like,
Yeah.
we'll figure out something. We'll have to, like, the Kitty Pig is only brewing now. And so it takes 2 months to brew. And so December is when it's gonna be ready. And um we're trying to figure out some launches in Canada and in the States, to get the girls over here and for us over there. But we should definitely figure out how to, like, hang out
Hang out
and
and connect. That'd be cool.
all be with you, and drinking Kitty Pig and just doing some good stuff.
I look forward to that. So in Kitty Pig, there's like, would you say there's 2% alcohol in that, or is there something weird, small?
No, it's zero point
Zero.
zero 0.03,
Oh, okay. Okay.
which
Gotcha.
is considered non-alcoholic.
Okay.
It has, I think, the fermentation process of hops. There will always be. It's like kombucha.
Okay.
There will always be trace elements of alcohol in it, which I think is why people with challenges with alcohol, why it's just rather they don't want to have it. It's just because it's in there. It's like, it's also mouthwash and anything that would have traces of alcohol in it.
hmm
But I mean, for I don't even think it registers, for the majority uh
Yeah.
people not concerned about that. But yeah, it's 0.03%, and it's only like 0 point, yeah, exactly. And it's only like 40 calories. So
Oh,
it's,
that's good.
yeah, it's a workout beer.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds refreshing. I got some friends that don't drink, so I'm want to send that to them when it comes out. I think they'll like it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
But thank you so much, and I look forward to connecting in the future or whatever. That'd be cool.
I cannot wait. Where about are you, by the way?
So I'm about 45 minutes north of Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay,
So
amazing.
I live on the lake, so it's like there's a lake literally in my backyard, a man-made lake. So it's cool.
So cool. I had with my South African band, Stealing Love Jones, our very first show in the United States was in a club in Atlanta, and we were opening for, I can't remember it now, but they're a pretty big band now. But man, Atlanta was one of the wildest nights of my life, and I'll have to tell you the story on another
Yes.
time, probably off camera, but whoa, it was so wild. It was definitely a good kickoff to the tour.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to hear that story. I'll say this real fast and we can end it. But like I saw Deftones in '96 at Little
Wow.
Five Points in Atlanta, and Korn was
Wow.
there, and they were just
Wow.
hanging out. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's
and
insane.
it's on YouTube too. I found it, so I was pretty stoked. There's a horrible video of it, but
Oh my
anyway,
God.
just Atlanta being crazy.
Can you
Yeah.
see yourself in the video? Just
No, I don't think you can see anything in the video. It's pretty
yeah,
dark and but
rainy.
yeah. There was a bar across the street, and I remember telling Brian Welch, I was like, I've watched Brian would go to the bar across the street, then go back in the club and go to the bar. I guess the bar was cheaper, maybe, and
Yeah.
it's so vivid memories of that. I hope I never forget stuff.
I love that. I love that. Kudos to you for having memories of 1996. I'm
I
like,
know, yeah, but I
oh
don't
my
remember
God.
much from then. But
Oh my gosh.
all right,
Crazy.
well, it's been great talking to you. I love it, and let's keep in touch.
I appreciate you.
This has been
Take it
fun.
easy. Bye.
Look at that's a great way to end. Look, I got this too. You see the duck.
Oh,
See?
Ducky. Good duck.
I gotta make that the thumbnail right there.
All right. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for such a great chat. It's been really awesome.
Oh, you too. It's been great. Thank you so much. Let's keep in touch.
And no, please do. I'll chat to you in a bit.
All right, take care. Bye.